Success is not a result of big breakthroughs, but of small, daily actions. Keep moving forward, even when you don't see the progress. If you've ever felt stuck, like you're not moving forward in life, or maybe you've hit a wall and don't know how to get past it, this video is for you. Today we're going to talk about something simple, yet incredibly powerful. How to make progress every single day, no matter what. I know life isn't always easy. Some days it feels like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. You get busy, you get tired, and maybe you even feel like giving up. But I want to show you that no matter where you're starting from, no matter the obstacles you face, you can still make progress. And I'm not talking about big, dramatic changes that happen overnight. I'm talking about the little things you can do each day to keep moving forward, even when it feels like nothing is working. In this video, I'm going to share with you some practical steps, tips, and ideas that can help you build real momentum in your life. We'll talk about how setting clear goals, staying focused, and learning continuously can change everything for you. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about finding the small things that you can control, and then using those things to keep making progress, no matter what challenges you face. So if you're ready to take charge of your progress and start seeing real results, stick with me. I'll guide you through everything you need to know, and by the end of this video, you'll be equipped to make daily progress, even on the toughest days. Stay tuned, and let's dive in. Number 1, set clear, achievable goals. It all starts with having clear, achievable goals. I know you've probably heard it a million times, but let me tell you why this is one of the most important things you'll ever do. If you want to move forward, if you want to succeed, if you want to build the life you've always dreamed of, you need to know exactly where you're going. It's really that simple. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, to feel overwhelmed by everything that's happening around you. You might have 100 things on your plate, and it seems like no matter how much you do, you're still not getting closer to your goals. That's because without a clear sense of direction, without knowing exactly what you want, it's like trying to navigate through a foggy, unfamiliar road. You might be working hard, but you don't have a clear path. And without a clear path, progress becomes slow and frustrating. So the first thing you need to do is set clear goals. Now, setting goals isn't just about writing down a wish list of things you hope to accomplish one day. No, it's about being intentional. It's about thinking deeply about what you want your life to look like and breaking that down into concrete, achievable steps. These goals should be specific. I mean really specific. Not, I want to be successful or I want to get in shape. Those are too vague. They don't give you anything to work with. A clear goal looks more like this. I want to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year, or I want to make $10,000 this month from my business. Notice the difference. One is clear, focused, and measurable. The other is just a nice idea, but it doesn't give you any direction. The next step is making sure these goals are achievable. You've got to be realistic about what you can accomplish. Now, I'm not saying you should aim low or limit yourself in any way. You should always reach high, but you need to understand that it's a process. You're not going to wake up one day and achieve everything you want. Progress is a journey, and it takes time. So make sure that your goals are challenging, but within the realm of possibility. If you set goals that are too far out of reach, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. On the flip side, if you set goals that are too easy, you won't push yourself to grow. Once you've got your clear, achievable goals in mind, the next thing to do is break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. You can't expect to climb a mountain all at once. You've got to take it step by step. For example, if your goal is to run a marathon, you don't go out and try to run 26 miles right off the bat. You start by running a couple of miles a few times a week, and then gradually build up from there. Small steps, but all of them leading you to that bigger goal. Every day, every action should be a step forward. Even if it feels small, it's still progress. Now here's where most people get stuck. They make a great plan, they set a clear goal, but they don't follow through. They don't take consistent action. The truth is, you can have the best goals in the world, but if you don't put in the work every single day, they're just dreams. You can't expect things to magically happen without effort. It's the daily discipline that makes the difference. It's the little actions repeated over time that lead to big results. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. If you want to see progress, You have to show up every day and do the work. But here's the good news. Once you start making progress, even small progress, it starts to build momentum. You start seeing results, and those results fuel your motivation. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. The more you accomplish, the more you want to accomplish, the more you achieve, the more confidence you gain. And that confidence propels you forward, making it easier to keep going. This is why setting clear, achievable goals is so powerful. They give you direction. They give you something to aim for. And when you start hitting those goals, even the small ones, it builds momentum and keeps you moving forward. Another thing that's crucial when it comes to setting goals is having a clear why. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Without a strong reason behind your goal, it's going to be hard to stay motivated. When things get tough, and they will, you need to remind yourself of why you started in the first place. Maybe you're trying to lose weight so you can feel better in your body, so you can be more active with your kids, or so you can live a longer, healthier life. Maybe you're building a business to create financial freedom for your family, or to do work that you're passionate about. Whatever it is, your why is what will keep you going when things get difficult. And let's be honest, things will get difficult. You'll face setbacks. You'll face challenges. You'll question yourself. But if your goals are clear and your why is strong, you'll have something to hold on to. When the road gets tough, it's your why that will keep you grounded. It's what will remind you that you're not just working for the sake of working. You're working because you're building something important. You're working because you want something better for yourself and for your life. Now let's talk about the power of tracking your progress. This is another key aspect of making sure that you're staying on track. It's not enough to just set goals and forget about them. You need to actively track your progress. Whether that's through a journal, a spreadsheet, or an app, tracking your progress helps you see how far you've come. It helps you stay focused, and it gives you something tangible to look back on when you're feeling discouraged. If you've been working towards your goal for a few weeks or months, and you look back at how far you've come, you'll realize that progress is happening. It might not always be as fast as you'd like, but it's happening. Tracking your progress also allows you to adjust your strategy if things aren't working. Maybe you thought you could accomplish something in a certain time frame, but you're not quite there yet. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Use that information to adjust your approach. Maybe you need to work a little harder, or maybe you need to refine your plan. The important thing is that you don't give up. You keep pushing forward, and you keep adjusting until you get where you want to go. Here's the thing, making progress every day isn't about achieving perfection. It's not about doing everything right every time. It's about showing up. It's about being consistent, even when you don't feel like it. It's about putting in the effort, day in and day out, and trusting that those small, consistent actions will pay off in the long run. You're building something here, and the more you commit to that process, the more progress you'll see. It's not about rushing the process. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and trusting that it will lead to something great. So make your goals clear. Break them down into manageable steps. Show up every day, even when it's hard. Track your progress, and always remind yourself of your why. That's how you make progress every day. And that's how you build the life you've always dreamed of. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Step by step, day by day, you'll get there. And when you look back, you'll realize just how far you've come. Keep going, stay focused, and never give up. You've got this. Number 2, win the first hour of your day. I can't stress enough how important this is. If you want to make progress every day, no matter what, you see, the way you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. It's like the foundation of a house. If you don't build it solid, everything else can come crumbling down. So what you do in that first hour of your day, it really matters. You wake up in the morning, and you're immediately hit with choices. Do you hit snooze, roll over, and get a few extra minutes of sleep? Or do you get up, stretch, and start your day with intention? This is where most people miss the mark. They let the first hour slip away without any real purpose, and then wonder why the rest of the day feels scattered and unproductive. Trust me, you don't want to be that person. I understand that it's tempting to snooze that alarm and get a little more sleep. We all love comfort, right? But that small choice, that simple decision to get out of bed and start moving, can make all the difference. Think about it. When you allow yourself to stay in bed longer, you're already telling yourself, I'm not ready to face the day. You're not setting the right tone. And that mindset, it sticks with you. It follows you into your day. And you may find yourself dragging your feet, struggling to get anything done. But if you make a decision to rise and shine, to embrace the new day, you set the stage for a successful day. The key is to make that first hour count. Now you might be thinking, okay, Jim, I hear you, but what exactly should I be doing during this time? It's about creating a routine that gets you moving, gets your energy up, and gets your mind in the right place. The first hour should be intentional. You can't just let it slip by. One of the most effective ways to start your day is with some form of physical activity. I don't mean you need to run a marathon, but just get your body moving. Whether it's stretching, a few minutes of yoga, or a light walk, get your blood flowing. This is so important, because when you move your body, you wake it up, it gives you energy, and it helps you shake off the fog from sleep. You're setting the tone for the day by telling your body, I'm ready to work, I'm ready to face whatever comes my way. That's the mindset you want to carry with you all day long. But physical activity is just one part of the equation. You also need to get your mind right. And the best way to do that is with something that focuses your attention and gives you clarity. I'm talking about taking a few minutes to center yourself. Whether that means meditating, journaling, or simply taking a few moments to reflect on what's important to you. I know that many people don't have time for these things, but trust me, making the time in the morning will set you up for success. Just a few minutes of quiet time can help you focus, clear your mind, and get ready for whatever the day brings. Think about it. If you take that first hour and make it about getting your body moving, getting your mind clear, and setting a positive tone for the rest of your day, what do you think will happen? You're more likely to tackle your tasks with energy. You'll feel focused, and you'll be more productive. That's because when you take care of yourself first thing in the morning, you're putting yourself in a position to win the rest of the day. It's also important to note that this first hour isn't about doing everything perfectly. You're not aiming for some sort of flawless morning routine. You're just trying to make sure you get a good start. You're setting yourself up for success by taking small, consistent actions that help you feel better and setting a body. If you start your day with intention, you'll be amazed at how much easier it is to keep that momentum going throughout the day. And let me tell you, that momentum is powerful. Have you ever noticed how, when you start your day on the right foot, things just seem to flow? You're more confident, more focused, and more motivated to get things done. On the flip side, when you start your day off in a rush, when you skip breakfast, or skip your morning routine, everything feels off. You might feel disorganized, or anxious, and that sets a negative tone for the rest of your day. And setting a body. You might be rushing from one task to the next, and before you know it, the day is over. And setting a body. In your real progress. That's why it's so important to make sure you win the first hour. I want you to really think about this. That first hour and setting a body, that's completely in your control. Once the day starts, there are always distractions, other people, and unexpected things that can come up. But that first hour, that's yours. How you spend it is entirely up to you. And the truth is, it's going to make a huge difference in how the rest of your day unfolds. Now don't get me wrong. I know some of you might be night owls. You might not be used to waking up early. And that's okay. It's not about being perfect. It's about consistency. Start small. If you're used to waking up at 8 a.m., try waking up at 7:45 a.m. the next day. Then try 7:30 a.m. And so on. Give yourself some time to adjust, but make that time for yourself every day. Even if it's just 30 minutes, it's better than nothing. The point is, you're making that first hour and setting a body. And let me tell you this, when you start your day with intention, it becomes easier to keep the positive momentum going. Your energy will be higher and setting a body.
You're more focused throughout the day. You'll notice that you're more productive, and the tasks you have to tackle seem less overwhelming. Instead of feeling like you're chasing your to-do list all day long, you'll be tackling things head-on with confidence. That's the power.
Setting the body.
The power of it's about setting the tone. It's about taking control of your morning, so you can take control of your
Setting the body.
You've heard the saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. And that's true. If you start your day well, you're more likely to continue that positive energy throughout the day. So don't waste that first hour. Use it wisely. Start your day with purpose.
Setting the body.
Wake up with intention, and watch how everything else starts to fall into place.
Number 3, the role of learning and self-improvement. Let's talk about learning and self-improvement. Because to make progress every day, no matter what, you have to continuously better yourself. It's a constant journey. I know that sounds like a lot of work, and maybe you're thinking, how can I find the time? But I promise you, this is where everything starts to click. The good news is, it's not about doing a massive overhaul overnight. It's about small, consistent actions every single day. Think about the way most people approach learning. They might get excited about a new course or a new book, and they dive in with enthusiasm. But after a little while, that excitement wears off, and they start to fall back into old habits. They stop putting in the effort to improve, and their growth stalls. That's not you. You can avoid that pitfall. To make consistent progress, you need to embrace learning as a lifestyle. Not just something you do when you're in the mood. It needs to become a part of your routine. What you have to realize is that learning doesn't stop after school. It doesn't stop after that big certification or that degree. It continues every single day of your life. Every day gives you an opportunity to grow. And the more you focus on learning and self-improvement, the more you'll see your progress take off. You might be asking, what should I be learning? Where do I start? Well, here's the truth. It doesn't matter what you learn, as long as it moves you forward. It could be learning new skills that help you in your career, reading books that challenge your thinking, listening to podcasts that open your eyes to new perspectives, or even learning from your mistakes. The key is that you don't stop. Now I get it, you're busy. Life is full of distractions, and it feels like you're always running out of time. But here's the thing. You don't need to dedicate hours and hours every day to learning. I'm talking about making small but consistent efforts. If you read just 10 pages of a book a day in a month, that's 300 pages. In a year, you've read 3,600 pages. It doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. That's what consistency does. A little bit every day creates big results over time. The same goes for learning new skills. Even just 15 minutes a day of focused learning can make a huge difference. That adds up to 90 minutes in a week. And think about how much knowledge you could absorb over time with that kind of consistency. But it's not just about the amount of time you spend learning. It's about how you engage with that learning. You can read all the books, take all the courses, or listen to every podcast. But if you don't apply what you're learning, it's all for nothing. This is where most people fall short. They consume information, but don't take action. They're reading, they're listening, but they're not doing. The real magic happens when you take what you've learned and put it into practice. If you read a book on time management, start applying those tips right away. If you take a course on negotiation, don't wait for the perfect time to use those skills. Start using them immediately. The more you practice what you're learning, the quicker you'll see results, and the faster you'll improve. And here's the thing. Self-improvement isn't just about learning new skills or acquiring knowledge. It's about improving yourself as a person. It's about becoming someone who takes responsibility for their own life and decisions. Self-improvement is about mindset. It's about growth. You have to be willing to challenge yourself every single day, to look at your weaknesses and work on them, to take a hard look in the mirror and ask, what can I do better today? Most people avoid doing this because it's uncomfortable. It's much easier to stay in your comfort zone, to keep doing things the way you've always done them. But that's not where growth happens. If you want to make progress every day, you've got to be committed to improving, even when it feels hard, even when it's uncomfortable. And trust me, there will be days when it feels like nothing's working, like you're not moving forward. But those are the moments that count the most. Those are the moments when you have to dig deep. You have to keep going. If you've been pushing yourself for a while and you're not seeing the progress you want, remember this: growth isn't always linear. It's not always a straight line upward. Sometimes it's more like a zigzag. Sometimes you take a step backward. But as long as you're continuing to learn, continuing to improve, you are making progress. Now, let me give you a little secret that will change everything. The key to self-improvement is not doing more. It's doing less, but doing it consistently. Focus on one thing at a time. We live in a world that constantly tells us to multitask, to do as much as possible, but that's not where true progress happens. When you focus on a single task, a single skill, a single area of improvement, you give yourself the space and the energy to get good at it. The more you focus, the more you'll improve. And the more you improve, the more your confidence grows. And the more your confidence grows, the easier it becomes to tackle bigger challenges. It's all about building momentum. Momentum comes from the small steps you take every day. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when things aren't going the way you want them to. Momentum comes when you decide that no matter what, you're going to keep learning. You're going to keep improving, even when it's hard, even when it feels like nothing's changing. The beauty of momentum is that it works both ways. It works for you when you keep pushing, but it also works against you if you stop. If you start slacking off, the momentum shifts, and you'll find it much harder to get back on track. So what's the takeaway here? It's simple. To make progress every day, no matter what, you have to commit to learning and self-improvement. It's about setting a daily habit of learning, whether it's reading, practicing new skills, or reflecting on your actions. The key is to keep going, no matter what. And don't just consume information. Apply it. Put it to use in your life, in your work, in your relationships, and in your personal growth. And remember, it's not about how fast you improve. It's about consistency. Little by little, you'll start to see the difference. So embrace the process. Make learning a part of who you are, and you'll start to see the progress you've been hoping for. Number 4, stay focused on what matters. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to make progress is because they get distracted. They lose focus. They start something with excitement, with motivation, with energy, but somewhere along the way, they lose sight of what really matters. They get pulled in 100 different directions, and before they know it, days, weeks, even months have gone by, and they're no closer to where they want to be. If you want to make progress every day, no matter what, you have to stay focused on what truly matters. Not just sometimes, not just when it's easy, every single day. Because if you don't control your focus, the world will control it for you. The truth is, we live in a world full of distractions. Everywhere you look, something is fighting for your attention. Your phone, your email, social media, television, the opinions of others. All of these things are constantly pulling you away from what you should be doing. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life reacting to these distractions, instead of focusing on what actually moves you forward. So let's talk about how to fix that. Because staying focused isn't about willpower. It's not about being naturally disciplined. It's about creating an environment and a mindset that keeps you locked in on your goals. The first thing you need to do is get clear on what actually matters to you. Because if you don't know what's important, everything will seem important. And when everything seems important, you'll jump from one thing to the next, never really making progress in any direction. So take a moment and ask yourself, what am I really working toward? What are my top priorities? What is the one thing that if I focused on it consistently would make the biggest difference in my life? Once you're clear on that, the next step is to eliminate distractions. Because let's be honest, most of the things that steal your focus are things you allow into your life. That phone that keeps buzzing, those notifications that keep popping up, that habit of checking social media every few minutes. That's not happening by accident. That's happening because you haven't taken control. If something is constantly pulling your attention away, remove it. Put your phone on silent. Turn off notifications. Create a space where you can focus without interruptions. Because the more you eliminate distractions, the easier it becomes to stay locked in what actually matters. Now, even if you remove distractions, your mind will still try to wander.
That's just how the brain works. So you have to train yourself to refocus. When you find yourself getting distracted, stop, take a deep breath, remind yourself what's important, and get back to work. Another key to staying focused is learning to say no. Because every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to something that does. And a lot of people struggle with this. They want to be helpful. They don't want to disappoint others. But if you're constantly putting other people's priorities ahead of your own, you'll never get where you want to be. It's okay to protect your time. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no to things that don't align with your goals. Because the people who truly succeed, the people who make progress every single day, they aren't the ones who try to do everything. They're the ones who focus on what really matters and let go of the rest. Another important part of staying focused is having a plan. If you wake up every day without a clear direction, it's easy to waste time. It's easy to get caught up in things that don't matter. But when you have a plan, when you know exactly what needs to get done, you don't have to think about it. You just execute. That's why you should start every day with a simple question. What are the most important things I need to accomplish today? Not 20 things, not a long list that overwhelms you. Just 2 or 3 key things that will actually move you forward. And once you have that list, attack those things first. Before you check your phone, before you respond to emails, before you let the day get away from you. Now here's something else you need to understand. Staying focused doesn't mean working non-stop. It doesn't mean burning yourself out. It means working with intensity when it's time to work, and then stepping away when it's time to rest. Because your brain isn't a machine. It needs breaks. It needs time to recharge. And if you push yourself too hard for too long, your focus will suffer. So don't be afraid to take short breaks. Step outside, move your body, do something that clears your mind. Because when you take care of yourself, when you keep your energy high, it's easier to stay locked in
on what really matters.
The last thing I'll say about focus is this. You have to want it. You have to care about your goals enough to stay disciplined. Because at the end of the day, no one is going to force you to focus. No one is going to make sure you stay
On track. That's on you.
So if you're serious about making progress every day, no matter what, take control of your focus. Get clear on what matters. Remove distractions. Set boundaries. Make a plan. Work with intensity. And don't let anything or anyone pull you away from what you're trying to achieve. Because the people who succeed, the people who actually make things happen, they aren't the ones who get lucky. They're the ones who stay focused, day after day, no matter what.
Number 5, make sacrifices for growth. There comes a time in life when you have to make a decision, a real decision, a decision that says, I want more, and I'm willing to do what it takes to get it. And when you make that decision, you'll realize something important. Progress requires sacrifice. You can't grow without giving something up. You can't move forward if you're still holding on to the things that are keeping you stuck. And the reason most people never reach their full potential is simple. They're not willing to let go of the things that are holding them back. They want success, but they don't want to sacrifice comfort. They want progress, but they don't want to change their habits. They want to win, but they're afraid of what they might have to give up to get there. If you want to make progress every day, no matter what, you have to decide what you're willing to sacrifice. And this is where most people struggle, because sacrifice isn't easy. It's not comfortable. It's not always fun, but it is necessary. Maybe it's sacrificing time, because let's be real, your time is the most valuable thing you have. And if you're spending it on things that don't serve you, you'll never get where you want to be. That might mean waking up earlier to work on your goals. It might mean spending less time watching TV, scrolling through social media, or doing things that don't add real value to your life. Because every minute you waste is a minute you'll never get back. Maybe it's sacrificing old habits, the habits that feel good in the moment but keep you stuck in the same place year after year. The habit of procrastinating, the habit of making excuses, the habit of saying, I'll start tomorrow, because tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next month. And before you know it, years have passed and nothing has changed. Maybe it's sacrificing relationships. And this is a tough one, because sometimes the people around you are the biggest thing holding you back. Not because they're bad people, but because they don't share your vision. They don't have the same drive, the same ambition, the same hunger for more. And if you're not careful, they will pull you back to their level instead of pushing you forward. This doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out of your life, but it does mean you have to be intentional about who you give your energy to. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, people who challenge you, people who push you to be better. Because if you spend your time with people who are lazy, negative, or stuck in the past, it's only a matter of time before you start thinking and acting the same way. Maybe it's sacrificing comfort. And this is one of the biggest sacrifices of all. Because comfort feels good. It feels safe. It's familiar. But growth doesn't happen in comfort. Progress doesn't happen when you're doing what's easy. It happens when you push yourself, when you step into the unknown, when you take risks, when you put yourself in situations that force you to level up. Most people never achieve their goals because they refuse to be uncomfortable. They refuse to struggle. They refuse to go through the hard days, the lonely nights, the moments of doubt and frustration. But that's what it takes. That's the price of success. And if you're not willing to pay that price, you will stay exactly where you are. Sacrifice is not about losing. It's about trading something of lower value for something of higher value. It's about letting go of what's keeping you stuck so you can reach something greater. And the people who understand this, the people who are willing to sacrifice, those are the ones who succeed. Those are the ones who make progress every single day, no matter what. So let me ask you, what are you willing to sacrifice? What is standing between you and the life you want? What are you holding on to that is keeping you from moving forward? Because until you answer those questions, until you make the decision to let go of what's holding you back, you will always feel stuck. If you want more, you have to be willing to do more. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to change. And if you want to make progress every day, no matter what, you have to be willing to sacrifice, not once, not for a little while, every day. Because that's what it takes. That's what separates the people who dream from the people who achieve. That's what separates those who talk about success from those who actually make it happen. Number 6. Energy and health matter. One of the most overlooked factors in making progress every single day is energy. People talk about motivation. They talk about discipline. They talk about focus. And yes, all of those things are important. But let me tell you something. If you don't have the energy to execute, none of that matters. Because you can have the biggest goals, the best plans, and the strongest work ethic. But if your body is constantly tired, if your mind is always foggy, if you wake up every day feeling drained, you won't be able to perform at your best. Success is not just about what you do. It's about how you feel while doing it. If you're constantly running on empty, if you're always exhausted, your progress will be slow. Your effort will be weak. You'll struggle to stay consistent. And over time, you'll start feeling frustrated because you're not seeing the results you want. But it's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's because you don't have the energy to sustain your efforts. So let's talk about energy, because energy is something you can control. It's something you can build. And when you start taking care of your energy, you'll notice something incredible. Everything else gets easier. Your focus improves. Your motivation stays strong. Your ability to push through challenges increases. And most importantly, you start making real progress every single day. The first thing you need to understand is that energy starts with your body. Your physical health matters. And I know, some people don't want to hear that. They think success is all about mindset, all about hard work. But let me tell you something. If you neglect your health, if you don't take care of your body, you're making success much harder than it has to be. You have to move your body. You have to exercise. You don't have to become a professional athlete, but you do have to make movement a part of your life. Because when you move, your energy increases. Your blood flows better. Your brain functions at a higher level. And let's be honest, when you feel strong physically, when you have energy, you perform better in every area of life. And then there's sleep. People love to talk about hustling,
about grinding, about working late into the night. But let me tell you something. If you're not sleeping, you're not performing at your best, period. Sleep is not a waste of time. It's not something you can ignore. It's the foundation of your energy. And if you're constantly running on 4 or 5 hours of sleep, if you're waking up tired every single morning, you're making everything harder than it needs to be. And I'll tell you this, when you start getting enough rest, when you start treating sleep as a priority, instead of an afterthought, your energy will change. You'll wake up feeling refreshed. Your mind will be clear. Your ability to focus will improve. And most importantly, you'll have the energy to do what needs to be done every single day. What you put into your body matters too. You can't expect to have high energy if you're constantly feeding yourself junk. Your body needs real fuel, not sugar, not processed garbage, real nutrients. And I know, people get defensive when they hear this. They say, I don't have time to eat healthy. But let me tell you something. You don't have time to feel like garbage either. Because when your energy is low, you move slower, you think slower, you waste more time. So yes, eating well takes effort, but the energy it gives you in return is worth it. Now let's talk about mental energy, because physical energy is important. But if your mind is drained, if you're constantly stressed, if you're always overwhelmed, you won't be able to focus. You won't be able to execute. And one of the biggest reasons people feel exhausted all the time is because they're mentally drained before the day even starts. You have to protect your mind. You have to be careful about what you allow into your life. Because if you're constantly filling your mind with negativity, if you're always around people who drain you, if you're spending hours every day watching things that bring you no value, of course you're going to feel tired. Of course you're going to struggle to stay motivated. So take control. Be mindful of what you consume. Be mindful of who you spend time with. Be mindful of how you start your day. Because every little thing you allow into your life is either giving you energy or taking it away. And if you want to make progress every day, if you want to wake up feeling strong, motivated, and focused, you have to create an environment that supports that. And let's not forget about recovery. Because energy isn't just about working hard. It's about knowing when to rest. A lot of people struggle with this. They think they have to be working 24/7. They think taking a break is weak. But let me tell you something. If you don't take time to recharge, you will burn out. And when you burn out, your progress stops. You have to find balance. You have to learn when to push and when to rest. Because rest is not the enemy of success. It's a part of success. It's what allows you to keep going, day after day, without feeling drained, without losing motivation, without giving up when things get tough. So here's what it comes down to. If you want to make progress every single day, you need energy, and energy is something you build through your habits. Move your body, get enough sleep, fuel yourself with real food, protect your mind from negativity. Take time to recover, because when you have energy, everything changes. Your productivity increases. Your motivation stays strong. Your ability to focus improves. And most importantly, you start seeing real lasting progress in your life. And that's what it's all about, making progress every single day. Not just when you feel like it, not just when it's easy, but every day, no matter what. And if you want to do that, if you want to stay consistent, if you want to reach your full potential, you have to take care of your energy. Because at the end of the day, success is not just about how hard you work. It's about how well you take care of yourself, so that you can keep working hard, day after day, year after year, until you reach everything you've been working for.
Number 7. Push yourself beyond comfort. Progress isn't something that just happens on its own. It's something you have to actively pursue every single day. You don't make progress by staying in your comfort zone. You don't get anywhere by sticking to what you know, by sticking to the same old routine, by avoiding the hard things. Progress is about pushing yourself. It's about stepping outside of what feels safe and comfortable and challenging yourself to go beyond your limits. It's about learning how to push through when things get tough, when you're tired, when it feels like you're not making any progress at all. The truth is, most people don't make the kind of progress they want in life because they refuse to leave their comfort zone. They settle into routines, into habits that feel safe and easy. But safe doesn't lead to growth. Comfortable doesn't lead to success. If you want to make real progress, if you want to move forward every single day, you have to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to learn how to handle the discomfort of change, of growth, of the unknown. This is one of the hardest things for people to understand, because when we're faced with something that challenges us, something that takes us out of our normal routine, something that feels uncertain or difficult, our instinct is to avoid it. We want to go back to what we know, to what feels safe. But here's the thing. You can't grow if you're not willing to push yourself beyond your limits. You can't make progress if you're always staying in the same place. Think about it for a moment. Think about the times in your life when you made the most progress. Was it when you were playing it safe? When you were just going through the motions? Or was it when you were pushing yourself? When you were challenging yourself to do something new, to take a risk, to try something difficult? When you step outside your comfort zone, you learn things you didn't know about yourself. You find strength you didn't know you had. You discover capabilities that you didn't even realize were within you. But here's the catch. Pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone isn't easy. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's exhausting. And there are going to be days when you feel like giving up. There are going to be moments when it feels like everything is working against you. But it's in those moments that you have to keep going. It's in those moments that you have to remind yourself that this is part of the process. This is how growth happens. This is how progress is made. You don't grow by doing what's easy. You grow by doing what's hard. You grow by facing your fears, by confronting the challenges, by stepping into the unknown. When you push yourself, you build resilience. You build confidence. You develop a strength of character that you never would have developed if you had stayed in your comfort zone. And it's that strength, that confidence, that resilience that will carry you forward every single day. Every day you have a choice. You can choose to stay where it's comfortable. You can choose to keep doing what you've always done. Or you can choose to step outside your comfort zone. You can choose to challenge yourself. You can choose to grow. And every time you make that choice, every time you push yourself, you're making progress. It's not about big dramatic changes. It's not about making huge leaps every single day. It's about taking small steps. It's about doing one thing today that takes you out of your comfort zone. It's about facing one fear. It's about making one choice that moves you forward. Because over time, those small steps add up. And before you know it, you'll be looking back and realizing how far you've come. This is the key to making progress every day. Pushing yourself, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Because when you push through the discomfort, when you keep moving forward, even when it feels like you're not making progress, you are. You're building the foundation for bigger changes. You're strengthening your muscles for greater challenges. You're laying the groundwork for success. Now, this doesn't mean that every day is going to be easy. This doesn't mean that you won't face setbacks, that you won't experience failure, that you won't hit obstacles along the way. That's part of it. Failure is part of progress. Setbacks are part of growth. But how you respond to those setbacks, how you push through those failures, is what makes all the difference. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep going after they fail. They're the ones who don't give up when things get tough. They're the ones who see failure as a lesson, as a stepping stone, as part of the process of getting better. They push through. And that's what you have to do too. If you want to make progress every day, you have to embrace discomfort. You have to embrace the hard days. You have to embrace the moments of doubt. You have to embrace the challenges, because those are the things that will help you grow. Those are the things that will build your character, your resilience, your strength, and those are the things that will help you move forward every single day, no matter what. So the next time you're faced with something challenging, something that takes you out of your comfort zone, don't shy away from it. Don't back down. Step into it. Embrace it. Push yourself, because that's where the magic happens. That's where the progress is made. And that's how you move forward every day, by pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, by doing the things that scare you, by embracing the discomfort, and by making progress one step at a time. If you want to make progress every day, if you want to move forward no matter what, this is what it takes. It takes courage. It takes strength. It takes the willingness to do hard things. It takes the willingness to push through the discomfort. And when you do that, you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make every single day. Number 8, time management for daily progress. Time is something that none of us can get back. It's one of those things that we take for granted until we realize how quickly it passes. The problem is, most of us don't really understand the true value of time until we've wasted too much of it. And when it comes to making progress, time is one of the most important resources we have. How you manage your time directly impacts how much progress you make. And that's something we all need to understand. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. The question is, how are you using yours? Are you using them wisely? Or are you letting them slip away without even realizing it? I want you to really think about that for a moment. When you look at your day, how much of it is spent on things that move you closer to your goals, and how much of it is spent on distractions that pull you away from your purpose? Let's face it, there's a lot of noise in this world. There's always something pulling at your attention. Social media, entertainment, distractions, things that seem important in the moment, but ultimately take you off course. These distractions eat away at your time. They keep you from focusing on what matters most, and they prevent you from making the kind of progress you're capable of making. The truth is, if you want to make progress every day, you have to learn how to manage your time. You have to protect it like the valuable resource that it is. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life. We get so wrapped up in doing the things we think we should be doing that we forget to focus on what really moves the needle. But time management isn't just about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about making sure that the time you have is spent on the right things. It's about learning how to prioritize what really matters and letting go of the things that don't. The first step to effective time management is understanding what your priorities are. If you want to make progress every day, you need to know what you're working toward. What are your goals? What is it that you want to achieve? Once you have a clear understanding of your goals, you can begin to align your time with those goals. This means that you spend your time on activities that bring you closer to achieving them, and cut out the activities that are just taking up space in your day. We all have the same amount of time, but some people are more productive than others. Why? Because they know how to use their time wisely. They've learned the art of focusing on what matters, of eliminating distractions, of saying no to the things that aren't aligned with their goals. And that's something you can do too. Time management isn't about being busy. It's about being effective. It's about making the most of the time you have and ensuring that every moment is spent working towards something meaningful. One of the biggest challenges we face when it comes to time management is the constant barrage of distractions. We live in a world that's designed to pull our attention in a million different directions. Social media, news, email, texts, all these things are constantly vying for our focus. It's easy to get sucked into these distractions and waste hours without even realizing it. But you have to ask yourself, is checking social media or scrolling through your emails really moving you closer to your goals? The answer is usually no. You have to learn how to set boundaries around your time. You have to decide when you're going to focus on work and when you're going to disconnect from everything else. This might mean turning off notifications, setting specific times to check your email, or even setting boundaries with the people around you. It might mean saying no to things that aren't aligned with your priorities, even if they seem like they're important in the moment. Time management is also about being intentional with your energy. We all have a limited amount of energy each day. If you're not careful, you can spend all your energy on things that don't matter and end up feeling drained and unproductive. This is where the power of planning comes in. When you plan your day, you're not just organizing your time, you're organizing your energy. You're making sure that you're spending your most focused and productive energy on the things that matter most, and that makes a huge difference. Think about it for a moment. What if you could spend the first few hours of your day working on your most important task before the distractions of the day start to pile up?
What if you could dedicate time every day to your goals, to the things that really matter, instead of letting other people's demands and distractions take over? What would that look like for you? What could you accomplish if you started your day with intention? If you prioritized your time? If you made every moment count? This is where the real magic happens. It's not about having more time. It's about making the most of the time you already have. It's about recognizing that every minute counts and choosing to use that time in a way that aligns with your goals. When you start thinking this way, you'll find that your days become more productive, more focused, and more meaningful. Effective time management also means knowing when to take a break. There's a misconception that in order to be productive, you have to work non-stop, but that's simply not true. You need to give yourself permission to rest and recharge. Taking breaks is essential for maintaining your energy and focus. It's about finding the balance between pushing yourself to work hard and giving yourself the time you need to recover. The key is understanding that time is limited. You can't afford to waste it, but you also can't be productive 24/7. You have to find that sweet spot where you're working hard and making progress, but also taking care of yourself along the way. When you manage your time well, you not only make progress, but you also make room for the things that matter: your health, your relationships, your well-being. At the end of the day, time management is about making the most of your life. It's about choosing to spend your time on what truly matters. It's about taking control of your day instead of letting your day control you. If you want to make progress every day, you have to start by managing effectively. You have to get clear on your priorities, eliminate distractions, and be intentional with your day. When you do that, you'll find that every day becomes an opportunity to move closer to your goals, to make progress, to build the life you want. Time is precious, and it's up to you to make the most of it.
Number 9, the compound effect of daily effort. This is one of the most powerful truths when it comes to making progress. The little things you do each day, the seemingly insignificant moments, they compound in ways you can't even begin to imagine. In fact, it's the small daily actions that ultimately determine where you end up in life. It's not the big breakthroughs or the dramatic moments that make the difference. It's the consistency. It's the compound effect of what you do every single day. You see, most people think that making progress means having a huge win or achieving something monumental right away. And sure, those moments feel great, but the truth is, they don't come without the small steps that lead up to them. It's easy to get frustrated when you don't see immediate results, but the secret to making progress every day lies in your ability to trust in the process. You have to understand that the little things you do day in and day out are what are going to add up to something much bigger down the line. Think about it. Every action you take, no matter how small, is planting a seed. And just like any seed, it takes time to grow. The more you water it, nurture it, and care for it, the stronger it becomes. But here's the thing. Most people give up before they see the results. They plant the seed, water it a couple of times, and then when they don't see a tree sprouting in a week, they abandon it. They think, this isn't working. I'm not seeing the results. Why bother? But let me tell you, that's where the difference is made. The people who succeed are the ones who keep showing up, day after day, even when it doesn't feel like they're making any progress. They keep planting those seeds, they keep watering them, and eventually something grows. It might take longer than expected, but it will happen. Progress isn't always something you can measure right away. Sometimes, it's only after a few months or even years that you can look back and realize just how far you've come. This is where the compound effect really starts to kick in. The compound effect is the principle that small, consistent actions, repeated over time, lead to big results. It's like saving a little bit of money each week. At first, it seems like you're not getting anywhere. Maybe you're saving $20 a week. What difference does that make? But after a year, that $20 adds up to $1,040. Over 10 years, it could turn into tens of thousands of dollars. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Whether it's your health, your relationships, your career, or your personal growth, the small efforts you make every day are what will lead to success. If you want to get in better shape, you're not going to wake up one day with a six-pack. But if you commit to eating better, exercising a little every day, and making healthier choices, over time, you'll start to see changes. It's not about having one intense workout or going on a crash diet. It's about making those small, healthy choices consistently. And that's true for any goal you have. If you want to be more successful in your career, it's not about making one big leap. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, learning something new, improving your skills, and doing the things that move you closer to your goal. You don't have to make huge leaps every day. You just need to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem. That's how you create momentum. That's how you make progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need to see immediate results. We live in a world of instant gratification. If we don't see results right away, we get discouraged. But success doesn't happen overnight. It's a long game. The progress you're making today, even if it feels like it's barely noticeable, is building the foundation for something bigger. It's laying the groundwork for the future you want. And when you look back, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. There's another aspect of the compound effect that's just as important, and that's consistency. You can't just show up one day and then take a week off. You can't expect to see results if you're only putting in effort sporadically. Progress happens because of consistency. It's about doing the little things every day, even when you don't feel like it. Even when it's hard, the more consistent you are, the more momentum you build. And momentum is everything. It's what keeps you going when things get tough. But here's the kicker. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect every day. We all have our off days. We all have moments when we fall short, but that's okay. The key is to get back on track the next day. Don't let one setback stop you. Don't let one mistake derail your progress. Understand that life is a journey, and it's going to have its ups and downs. But as long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep doing the work, you're making progress. The beauty of the compound effect is that it works whether you're aware of it or not. You don't have to see immediate results to know that you're making progress. The work you're putting in today is setting you up for success tomorrow. It's like building a house. At first, you might only be laying the foundation, and that foundation might not look like much. But over time, as you continue to work, brick by brick, the house starts to take shape, and eventually you have something solid, something strong. It's the same with your goals. Every small action you take is building something stronger, something more meaningful. Even if it doesn't feel like much right now, trust me when I say it's making a difference. You're planting seeds that will grow into something beautiful if you just keep watering them. You're creating momentum that will carry you forward, even when you can't see it happening. And when you look back, you'll realize that the progress you've made wasn't the result of one big breakthrough. It was the result of countless small decisions, small actions, and small steps that you took every day. The compound effect of those actions is what ultimately led you to success. So don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Don't give up because things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. Trust the process. Keep putting in the work. Keep taking those small steps every day. And over time, you'll see the progress. The compound effect is working for you, even when you don't see it. And before long, you'll have achieved the goals you once thought were out of reach. Keep moving forward. Keep making progress. It's all adding up. Trust me, you're closer than you think. Number 10, protect your mind from negativity. The road to success is never smooth, and there's always something, whether it's personal struggles, unexpected events, or just the weight of life itself, that tries to hold us back. But let me tell you something important. You can't let negativity take hold of your mind, because once it does, it's like a virus. It spreads, it takes over. It influences how you think, how you act, and ultimately it determines your results. That's why protecting your mind from negativity is one of the most critical things you can do on your journey to progress. It starts with understanding that negativity will come. It will show up. It's inevitable. There's no such thing as living a life without moments of doubt, fear, or discouragement. Life isn't about avoiding these feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about how you handle them when they arise. It's about understanding that negativity isn't the enemy. It's the way you deal with it that matters. You see, negativity is not a force that you can entirely eliminate, but it's something you can manage. It's something you can prevent from taking control of your actions and your decisions. The key is to be intentional about protecting your mind,
because if you allow negativity to sneak in, it'll erode everything you've worked for. The first step in protecting your mind is to become aware of what's feeding it. The people around you, the news you watch, the conversations you have, these are all feeding into your mindset. And if you're not careful, the negativity from these external sources can start to shape how you think. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to get sucked into a conversation that's full of complaining, gossip, or negative talk? It's almost like it's contagious. You might not even realize it at first, but before you know it,
Your mood has shifted.
your outlook has become darker, and you're starting to see the world through a lens of negativity. It's important to recognize when this is happening and take steps to protect yourself. You don't have to completely shut yourself off from the world, but you can choose where you spend your time and what you expose yourself to. It's all about being conscious of the influences around you. If the people in your life are constantly complaining or bringing negative energy into your world, you need to ask yourself, is this helping me? If the news you're watching is filled with bad news, violence, and fear, you need to ask yourself, is this helping me? It's crucial that you are selective with what you allow to enter your mind. Now, this doesn't mean you have to live in a bubble or ignore reality. You can still be aware of the challenges around you, but the key is not letting those things control your thoughts. Instead of allowing negativity to take root, you can choose to focus on solutions, on what you can control, on the positive aspects of your life. There is always something to be grateful for, always. And when you focus on gratitude, when you consciously shift your attention to the things that are going well, you start to change the way your mind works. You start to retrain your brain to find the good in every situation. It's about making the choice to focus on the positive rather than the negative. And trust me, that choice is powerful. But here's the thing, this isn't always easy. There will be days when everything seems to be going wrong, and the negative thoughts will come rushing in. The key is not to give in to them. It's about building resilience. Resilience comes from the ability to get back up, to keep going, even when things aren't perfect. You don't have to let every setback knock you off course. You can choose to keep moving forward. Every time you face a challenge and push through it, you get stronger. Every time you face a negative thought and choose to replace it with something positive, you're building mental strength. Now let's talk about the importance of your internal dialogue. The things you tell yourself matter. Your thoughts are powerful. They shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, this will never work, then guess what? You're right, you won't do it. You're not good enough, and it won't work. But if you tell yourself, I can do this, I am enough, I am capable, you'll begin to see things differently. You'll start to believe in yourself. You'll start to take action. Your internal dialogue can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy, and it's up to you to decide which one it will be. Protecting your mind from negativity also means learning how to deal with setbacks. Setbacks are a part of life. No one has a smooth, uninterrupted path to success. There are bumps along the way. There are detours. But the key is to not let those setbacks define you. Don't let them dictate how you feel about yourself or your future. Every setback is an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to grow. And if you can change your mindset to see setbacks as lessons rather than failures, you'll be able to overcome anything. Let me give you a real-world example. Think about a time in your life when things didn't go as planned. Maybe you failed at something, or maybe you faced a challenge that seemed impossible. Now, if you let negativity take over, that setback would become a defining moment. You'd tell yourself, I'm not good enough. This is too hard. I'll never make it. But if you choose to protect your mind, you can look at that setback and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? When you adopt this mindset, setbacks become stepping stones. They become part of the journey, not the end of it. And here's the thing about negativity. It can be sneaky. It can creep in without you even realizing it. It could be a negative thought, a discouraging word from someone, or a failure that shakes your confidence. But no matter where it comes from, you have the power to control how you respond to it. You don't have to react to negativity in the way that most people do. You don't have to let it take over. You can choose how you respond. And the more you practice this, the better you get at it. One of the best ways to protect your mind is to surround yourself with positive influences.
Spend time with people who lift you up, who encourage you, who inspire you, people who believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. People who challenge you to grow, not bring you down. The more you surround yourself with positive energy, the less room there is for negativity to take hold. And if you're in an environment that's toxic or draining, it's important to set boundaries. Protect your energy. You don't have to stay in situations that make you feel worse about yourself. Let me remind you, you're the gatekeeper of your mind. You have control over what you let in, and you can choose what stays and what goes. It's not always easy, but the more you practice protecting your mind, the stronger you'll become. The more you choose positivity, gratitude, and resilience, the more you'll find that you're able to push through the negativity and keep moving forward. It's all about mental toughness, and the more you build that mental toughness, the more unstoppable you'll become. The bottom line is this: negativity is part of life. It's going to come, and it's going to try to take you down, but you have the power to protect your mind from it. You have the ability to choose your thoughts, to surround yourself with positivity, and to keep going no matter what. When you protect your mind from negativity, you protect your progress. You protect your future. So make the decision today, protect your mind, and nothing can stop you.